Hey yo, turn me up just a little bit. Yeah, it's that man space vibe. Step in the zone, microphone check. Russ and Less got the real intellect. Talk smooth like jazz on a late night set. With a convo deep and the topics connect. From the struggles to the wins, they address it with grace. Drop lines so cool, you can feel the bass. Two kings of the craft, and you know the rest. Kick back, pour a drink, welcome to the space. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. You go chillin' with Russ and Less. Hang out, cause now you vibing with nothing but the best. Space forever.
Welcome into another edition of the Man Space Podcast. Now, this is the voice of Russ, and with me, as always, who is boycotting the NBA until they bring back Magic City Monday, the one and only Big Les.
Yeah, baby. Man, you know, I used to frequent those places. That's where you found this picture, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you can get away with anything during March Madness, and obviously you're getting away with one of those things. Great job. Great job. Another way of harassing me.
Yes.
Yep. I got my lawyer on the case. I promise you. Got my lawyer on the case. I'm not one to be harassed. You right? I've gotten older. I don't fight anymore and all that stuff. I let the pen do the work now. Okay.
I can't fight anyway. Bruh, I just got back from Key West.
Yeah.
I did so much walking while I was there.
Oh,
my
God,
whole
yes.
body hurts.
Yes.
Like I am sore, like all the way down to my toes.
Yeah. Did you walk all the way across? I forgot the name of the road, but it's you know, it goes from one end to the other with it.
Pretty much. Yes.
Yeah, the southernmost tip of the United States is the little marker. Yeah. And I walked all the way over to the other side. And let me ask you this. Since you just got back from Key West, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with all of the chickens?
So I did a tour, and our tour guide was telling us, because it was nothing to see a chicken or a rooster come up on you, right?
Absolutely.
So what she said was that a lot of the Cubans who came to the island, they brought the chickens to the island. And so people had chickens and roosters all in their yards, right?
Yeah.
Well, because the people had them in their yards and the living quarters are so tight, people were complaining about the noise. And so the government stepped in and said, hey, we're going to fine you for having these chickens and roosters and stuff. So people just let them go. And then, because now they're all over the place, they became protected. So it's like a $500 fine if you get caught with one of the chickens.
With a free range chicken that's running around underneath your car. Really?
Yes.
Because the first thing I thought, being from an unprivileged neighborhood where I grew up, there would never be a chicken running around because there'd be so much hot oil all over the place.
I never saw a KFC anywhere.
I never saw one either. Popeyes, KFC, Bojangles, Steve's, Chicken Shack. You didn't see none of them.
None of it.
Well, I'm telling you, I'd never go hungry. I'm gonna find the nest. I'm gonna have scrambled eggs in the morning with fried chicken legs. I'm sorry.
You, yes.
Yeah, with a little bit of shark bait on the side, baby. We gonna get together. But that was my shocking thing. The whole, everywhere in the Keys, because I went from Miami, I drove all the way down to Key West, and there was chickens everywhere. And I told Miss Les, I said, look, if we get hungry, I'll stop at Academy in one of these little joints and get us a little barbecue grill. We'll have one of these fresh chickens. It's just She won't take me no place else, but that's beside the point.
It's a $500 fine.
I mean, well, it's gonna be well worth it.
And after three, it's jail.
I'm gonna do 3 at one time. If I'm gonna do 500, I'm doing 3 at one time.
Figures.
Yeah, we gonna max this thing out with the first try. But
listen, I saw a chicken getting assaulted by a rooster in the middle of the street, right?
Oh, wow.
Like he was wearing that chicken out, just pecking the back up. So then another rooster comes off the side out of nowhere. Like
knocks him off.
The big knight just comes and knocks him out the way. And just starts flapping his wings at him, right?
Oh man.
And then starts chasing the other rooster away.
Yeah.
Just showing you that even in chickens, chivalry is not dead.
That's right. There's a pecking order. Literally. Oh man. You gotta love traveling.
Much like that chicken with that turbulent start, we got a guest today that had a turbulent start to his life as well. He found himself at a crossroads at just 19 years old. At that moment, there was a turn of events that would shape the course of his life and everything that would follow. Now, he had, very, tough grit, hard lessons, and relentless commitment to growth. He went on to build success across multiple areas in life. And today, he is dedicated to helping others do the same thing through his coaching, writing, and the examples that he sets every single day. He shares a simple but yet powerful truth that helped him rebuild his life and reminds us all that power is truly showing up. ManSpace Nation, please put your hands together for our special guest today, Mr. Daryl Dittmer.
I appreciate you. Appreciate being here.
Oh, we appreciate
you, man.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, right off the bat, I was reading up on you, and it mentions that you say that your experience is not rooted in ideology. And, and as I was reading your intro, it mentions that you're hit a crossroads at age 19. What did life teach you at that point that no book or no theory could ever do?
The experiences that I had prior to 19 were just, dysfunction and addiction and running around, liar, cheat, thief, crimes. Glad we didn't have phones back then. At least the kind that would take pictures and stuff. So,
right.
So what I learned when I was actually just after I turned 19, I was at a New Year's Eve party, and so it was December 31st of 1984. Give you a little idea of how old I am. And I was at this party, and there was 100, 200 people, whatever it was. And at that point, I had grown to be the most miserable, isolated, depressed. I couldn't even. I was nothing like I was raised to be. I was not a decent human being, and I thought about taking myself out. I thought about killing myself that night, and so that was different from ideology. It was experience, and it was a time where I either had to bounce up or whatever whatever happens after having those kinds of thoughts and feelings, and which none of it I don't think could be good. So 3 days later, I was in a drug and alcohol treatment program.
Okay.
And
awesome.
Spent 30 days doing that, and the last 4 decades being recovered.
Awesome.
Oh,
congratulations to you on that.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Man. Awesome. Yeah, because I when you were talking about the thoughts of suicide, and I was going to ask you, like, hey, did you go to counseling or anything like that? But just what was the point that said, hey, I need help? Or did somebody have to step in and say, listen, you need to get your life together?
There was an intervention with my family, and it was basically get your stuff together or get out of our life. And that was pretty much where it was at back then. So it was they intervened, and I'm glad they did. It was a really, really difficult time, but it was also probably the most formative time for me, because it allowed me the opportunity to become different.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Well, I was reading up on you a little bit too, and it says you come from kind of a blue collar environment, and in that environment, work ethic is a non-negotiable. You have to work hard to get to where you want to go. So what lessons from your upbringing did still shape you today? What things did you keep?
Yeah, my dad was a mechanic, and Les, Detroit, right? Like, it was GM, Ford, or Chrysler. My dad was GM, and he was a mechanic. My family, nobody ever graduated from college or anything like that. It was my brother was a police officer, my grandfather was a police officer, my other grandfather was a firefighter. So that's kind of from whence I came.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a kid at church, and I was 14, I think, or maybe even 13 at the time. But my dad, after church, took me in, the back of the collar and put me in front of this farmer, because we had moved out into the country. Yeah. And he said, "Can you put him to work?" And the farmer's like, "Yeah, I can put him to work." And so it was just a couple days later, I'm working on these farms, and I'm doing 12, 14, as many as 16 hours a day, like from when it gets light to when it gets dark.
Yeah.
And it was like $1.25 an hour. And I was killing it, because I was working a lot of hours. I wasn't worried about how much I was making per hour, because I didn't know anything about that.
Right.
But I knew that if I worked a lot of hours, I made a few bucks, and so that was cool. So that's how it sort of started for me. And then, and I dragged that work ethic into, and still do, into everything that I do. Although now I don't beat the hell out of myself like I used to. I can't. My body's broken. There's so many things that are broken that I've got to temper myself a little bit. So I have the work ethic, but I also have developed a little bit of temperance over time, which, I got to survive,
Yeah. It's important that we do pull back at our wonderful youthful ages,
Things hurt more. Yeah.
No more parkour for me. I'm done with that.
Right.
So what was it for you, even coming out of rehab? Because a lot of people go through rehab and have relapses, or they just go just for the sake of shutting people up. But was there just something for you that just said, okay, this is it, and this is where I'm going to rebuild my life?
It was that sort of a time for me, and I had to get through the obstacles and the roadblocks and the hurdles and all that sort of stuff. Like old friends, they said, look, if you're going to change the game, you got to change the players.
Yeah.
And I believe that I was teachable enough at that age, because I was scared to death. I didn't want to go back to where I had been, but I didn't know how to go forward. I was young, so I didn't know anything about living or life or recovery or anything like that. So two things I got out of treatment, and one was hope that I could feel better, because I met people in treatment who had been where I was, counselors and things like that, and they got it together, and they're doing life, and they're, they don't look like they're all haggard and ragged, and all that sort of stuff. They look like they were really doing it. I'm like, okay, maybe I can. And then the other thing I got out of treatment was they put me, they got me involved in the 12 steps. And that was really crucial for me because it gave me a roadmap to, there's only one step that mentions, drugs or alcohol or whatever. The rest of them are about how to live. Yeah. And so I embraced those because that was the only roadmap that I had. And it's a pretty cool, if you learn to understand the 12 steps, it's like, a lot of religions, it's like a lot of philosophies. It's just, take out the garbage from your life. Yeah. Be a better person, believe in something bigger than yourself, those kinds of things. And it was a time, and it was back in the 80s. So, your show, basically men, they were like, dude, get it together, man. There's no coddling, there's no patty cake.
There's no roadmap to it. Just get it done.
Together. Yeah. And that helped me because that was how I grew up.
Same here. It's just sometimes my father used to use the analogy, if I push you in the deep end, you're going to do one or two things. You're going to swim or drown.
Yeah. Right on.
You make the decision which one you want to do. And I was always complex. And I was like, wait a minute. If you push me and I don't know how to swim, I'm going to drown. He said, well, if that's what you think, you got to have the instinct to get out of the water, and now I understand what he's saying, and I use that.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Got to.
So, figure it out.
Yeah. Go ahead, Russ, if you had a question.
Yeah. So, mentioning your father, was he one of your big role models in life growing up?
He was, he was a tough dude. He was not playing patty cake, especially if I got my mom upset, that kind of thing. And so, he was a pretty tough guy, but he was also, a fair guy as far as I experienced when I was younger. And I wasn't easy. I have an older brother and a younger sister, and none of us were easy. So, from a work ethic perspective, and this moves the clock forward a little bit, but after my mom died, my dad became the biggest teddy bear I ever met in my life. I'm like, who is this dude? And so I took a lot from that as well. He became this really gentle, caring, and I saw that side of him for another 12 years until he passed. And that was a really cool thing. That was a really cool thing.
Yeah. So Daryl, just to go back over your occupations for a little bit, you mentioned that you were a farmhand, right? And I've seen some notes here that said you are a carpenter, a business owner, a landlord, an investment counselor, investment counselor. What role taught you the most about life, if you can share that?
Well, farm work taught me work hard, but be careful. There's a lot of stuff around that can kill you.
It can kill you, yeah, absolutely.
And that was a big one. And then carpentry taught me, when you're walking along a wall and you're on a 2x4, 2 stories up in the air, don't fall. That was a good one.
That's a good lesson to learn.
That was a good one. But even though I did a few times, but I would say that those early ones formed the basis of me. And the bosses were mean, and they would yell, and one day, it kind of happened like it happened to my brother. My brother used to beat me up, and then when I got big enough, I used to tear him up.
Right.
And I did that with bosses too. I'm like, I'm 6'6", at that time I was probably like 220, so I wasn't huge, but I was big enough to do some damage, and
Right.
and so I'd go after bosses, and then they'd settle down on me, which was good. But that was just it was rough when I was young. It was a rough environment, and so it taught me to work hard, but it also taught me, you can't just run around like a nut. You gotta learn how to behave yourself. You gotta learn how to be cool sometimes. You gotta learn how to shut your mouth, that sort of thing. And that was all of it was very helpful.
Yeah, all the man things that we should be taught early in life.
Right.
Yeah, control is a good thing. You need to learn it. Yeah.
I know. I went out to my mom's cousin's farm, and after seeing a chicken get killed for the first time, I was like, that was enough for me to know that that's something I do not want to do. I do not want to be on a farm.
Yeah.
Hey man, when it comes to survival, it's me or you, buddy. Somebody getting skint.
I was telling my wife the other day, I'm like, that's the first way to make me a vegan.
Yeah.
Throw me out in the woods.
Ooh, that's a pretty little leaf. Yeah, okay. Those are the ones that could get you sick. You gotta
My grandmother used to talk about taking chickens and wringing their necks, when she was young, and spinning them around. I'm like, that doesn't sound that fun for the chicken.
Twisting around your head like a helicopter.
Yep.
Exactly.
I saw my mom's cousin do it, and I was like, oh no, I'm getting woozy here. I can't do it.
I've seen some family members do it too, and I was young, and I wanted to do it. Being a city boy, I wanted to go out and go do this stuff too, and I seen it, and I was like, I want to do it. It's like, first you got to catch them. It took me 2 days to catch one, and then by that time I was young, but by that time we didn't want no more chicken, so it was over with. I just let the chicken go once I caught them. I was like, I don't want to wring your neck.
Remember Rocky when the trainer
exactly
chase
chickens.
Yeah.
They are faster than what people think. Absolutely.
Well, Daryl, we got a quick game for you, and it is called Lightning Round. So Les is going to ask you some questions. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. There's going to be some music playing in the background. You got 60 seconds. When the music ends, the time is up. And I'm going to let you guys go at it while I fix my lighting here.
Yeah. So there's no wrong answers. It's just to get to know who you are.
Cool.
All right. Let's
let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
All right.
Favorite sports franchise?
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, you already won. Anyway, favorite job you ever held?
Farm work.
Okay. One word to describe you.
Built.
Okay. A book that changed your life besides your own.
The 10 Commandments.
Oh, awesome. One habit you never skipped.
What habit I never skipped?
Yes.
I don't understand.
One habit. Anything you do, something you do regularly that you never skip.
Oh, that I never skip now.
Yes.
Breath work.
Okay. Mountain air or laying on the beach?
Mountain air.
Absolutely. Favorite way to relax after a long day?
Crash on the couch.
A skill you wish you learned earlier in life?
Oh man, socialization.
Oh, that's good. I think a lot of people need to learn that skill. But I'm asking you one more since Russ is off messing with the light. Is best advice you ever received?
Daryl, when you stop fighting, the fighting stops.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
With that one.
That's a good one.
Good deal.
Yeah,
we are
Carry that right here.
Yeah, I may have to use that one on somebody. Russ, when you stop fighting, okay, stop it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've been fighting under my desk trying to get my lights back on. So I'm going to take us to break while I try to catch my breath.
You gotta stop fighting stuff you can't beat, brother.
I know. We'll be right back with more of the Man Space Podcast. We are back with our special guest, Daryl Dittmer. Now, at the end of our last segment, you were playing lightning round and you brought up Stop Fighting, which leads me to my next question, because you have two books that are out, When I Stop Fighting and When You Stop Fighting. So a lot of times people hear the phrase stop fighting and they assume that it's weakness. But in your experience, what kind of strength does it actually take to stop fighting?
That's a great question, Russ. And so I'll start with a little story. I had a mentor when I was first getting into recovery, and you know, I grew up in a house like a lot of people did, right? You wrestle with this, you wrestle with problems. You're not hurt if you're not bleeding out. You know, no pain, no gain, right? Like that's just what so many of us were taught, especially back in the day. And so this mentor of mine would listen to me talking about issues and problems and everything I'm fighting, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and society talks a lot about fighting, fight disease, fight this, fight that. And he said to me, his exact words, which we used in the lightning rounds, were, Daryl, when you stop fighting, the fighting stops. And so the fight that he meant was fighting myself and wrestling myself and telling myself I'm not good enough, and telling myself, you know, I'm insecure and I can't look people in the eye. This is how I was when I was 18, 19 years old. And that freed me. That really freed me, and more over the course of time, because I didn't know that I didn't have to fight. I just didn't know that. And I go after life, man. I mean, I've been after life for a long time, but that's a completely separate issue from fighting myself. One of the chapters in my book is called we'll call it the butt kicking machine, because I don't know if I can say the other word. So we'll call it the butt kicking machine. And that's what I would turn on myself all the time. You know, that, oh, you're in recovery and you're not doing enough, or you shouldn't feel this way, or you shouldn't be this way, or, you know, there's just things that I'm fighting about myself constantly. And when I start to accept myself and I start to move forward in my life with the attitude of, look, I'm just going to do the best I can, and I'm not going to kick my own butt on the back end. You know, I'm just going to do the best I can, and that's going to be that, and that's what I can do. And I think if that attitude can be adopted, there's immense freedom in that, because I don't have an anchor tied to me. I don't have, you know, I don't have those fights on the back end that I'm knocking myself out every day. And not to mention what life is doing to me. Yeah.
Because it has its own way of kicking you.
Life's tough enough, right? And if I'm doing it to myself, I'm only making it that much worse.
Yeah, that's cool, Daryl. Now, let me ask you this. We talked about those two books. You got two books. So what do you want the readers to actually get from your books? What do you want the message to be for you, for them?
I want people to know more than anything that no matter where you've been in this life, you can change and you can be different, and life can be big, man, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be big outside of me. It can be big inside of me.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what a lot of people are missing.
Yeah.
It's life is in you, not what other people perceive it to be, but life is in you and what you put into it and what you get out of it. So
100%. And that is so crucial. And that's what I want people to get. Just know that your life can be bigger than you can probably ever possibly imagine, and just allow it to be, you know, allow it to be, and then take the steps that help that to happen.
Yeah. Awesome.
Look on your life story, you know, because a lot of times in coaching, you do have to share your story to get people to be relatable to people, right? To get people to follow you, because they're like, hey, you know what? He went through what I went through. So I'm going to follow him. I'm going to learn from him. I'm going to listen to him. And so you have to share and be open and honest about your own story. But when it comes to your own story, what do you think most people will be surprised by?
You know, my wife, I didn't get married until I was probably 20 years in recovery. I got married at 39. And so I would tell my wife stories. She didn't know me back then by any stretch. And I was a very different dude by that time. So she didn't know me. And I'd tell her these stories, and she's like, about, you know, the different drugs that I did and the stealing and the lying and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, man, I'm not seeing it. That's just not you. And I said to her at that time, I'm like, remind me to write a book someday. And so, you know, after another 18 years or so, I did that. But I think that's the thing now. People see you where you are.
Yeah.
And they don't know where you've been unless you give them those stories. And so I think now the most, you know, surprising thing to people would probably be just that I was this untrustworthy and insecure and pretty messed up dude whose only ambition in life was to get to the next drink or drug.
That's right.
And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's kind of two scenarios in all of that, and it's the people that see you now and they judge you for where you are now, and when they get to learn your story, they see how far you came, and applaud you on that. Like us, we applaud you for how far you've come in your story, and we know that your story still has a lot more chapters to go. Then there's the other side of the people that knew you from back then that still want to see you from back then. And like, hey, that's not me anymore, you know? And so when you got to sit there and cut those people away because they still want you to be in that part of your life, man.
Yeah. That navigation of that, I'm sure is a mess all by itself. You know,
it can be. And it's interesting because I left Michigan in my hometown. I was in my mid-20s, and I have, and it was probably 25 years, maybe even 30 years until I reconnected with anybody.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so, you know, they're like, oh, you did this and you did that, and this is going on and that's going on, and, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And they're kind of like, no, not you.
Yeah.
You know, idiot I knew from, you know, way back in the day. And some of them, I don't think were very happy about it.
Of course not.
Right. Yeah. And I get that sort of, you know, cold response sometimes. And, you know, I've been through enough stuff. I'm like, whatever, you know, I'm not hearing it because I don't care. You know, you can feel however way you want to feel. I would help you anytime I could. If you asked me for help, that's all, that's all you need to know. And however you feel is how you feel.
Yeah. It's amazing that sometimes you just need to change your environment, change the people you're around to make a change in you, and I heard something today that a guy said. He says, why do they call fall? Right? And
why is that, Les?
Well, I'm getting ready to tell you, Russ.
All right. I'm impatient. Share with us, Les. I was trying to play along with you, man.
I had faith that it was coming, Les.
It was coming. I was building the dramatics in it, But they call fall because it's the time of the year where the trees shed their leaves, right? But why do trees shed their leaves? Okay, there's a real answer to this, but because we're speaking of this in this subject, trees shed their leaves because they know they can't take their leaves into winter, because then the leaves will take the nutrients from the tree, so they have to shed them and move to the next season and grow new leaves.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of the same thing, right? You have to leave your situation and leave some things behind in order to get new things, to keep your nutrients and keep flowing. So when I heard that today, I was like, wow, that's, I understand that, because I too left Michigan, about 18 years ago, and it was hard for me to leave. But I tell you what, it was probably the best thing I could have ever did for myself.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I love that analogy with the leaves because it's true. And there are seasons in our lives, right? There are times when we need to just drop the past. And I liken it to, I got to keep my face in the windshield. I can't keep my face in the rearview mirror. I'm gonna crash.
Absolutely. Knees in the breeze, baby. Let's keep it moving forward. That's it. I have a question for you. Are you ready to show up?
I am ready to show up.
What does that mean to you?
It can mean many, many things. It can mean the big things, and it can mean the little things. If I'm having, sometimes for me, showing up is saying, you know what, I've only got time I'm not going to be able to do my normal practices in the morning and my normal exercise and that sort of thing. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some push-ups, and I'm going to do 5 minutes of breathing, 5 minutes of quiet time. That is showing up for me for that day. Yeah. And sometimes showing up is, you know what, I'm going to make that hard phone call. I'm going to talk to someone the way that I don't want to talk to them because I don't want to hurt their feelings, but I need to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's showing up. Sometimes it's, hey, boss, I need a raise, man, or I got to go.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 ways to show up, probably on any given day. But the key is, and this is it's such a simple word, but it's so important to me, is I gotta just keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to always be successful. I don't need to always have it work out, because many times it doesn't work out, but I have to keep trying.
Yeah.
And that to me is sort of the overall message of showing up, is just don't give up.
Yeah. Awesome.
Wow. This is something that we talk about a lot on this show. And in your opinion, why do people struggle so much to show up fully in their own lives?
I think the biggest reason is fear of the unknown, and they get caught up in the normal, and hey, everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. And they get distracted by social media, and they get distracted by doing the same things that everybody else is doing. And I think that's a big stumbling block. And there's nothing wrong with what anybody does. Everybody's got their own journey, and that's completely cool. But it takes another gear to do things differently, because you might be chastised, you might be judged, you know, people might look at you like, oh, what's he doing? You know, he's not doing what we're doing. That's not cool. You know, so I think that fear of judgment, and sometimes, you know, if there's something that I need to do that I'm scared to death to do, showing up is doing it because I know it's the right thing to do. But honestly, probably 95% of people won't. Because of that fear.
You're right. A lot of people don't do things because they're scared. And that's the worst thing. And a lot of people stop because they just, you're one step away from success. What if that next step you take could be success? You'll never know if you don't take it. So that means you have to keep taking those steps to keep moving forward.
People used to say to me, don't quit before the miracle. And I used to think about it all the time. I'm like, I just can't quit because there's a miracle coming. And many of those things have happened. And that's the try thing. As long as I keep trying, and I feel at this time in my life, and for a long time, I've been trying, and by trying, I've also been led. I've been led, and the path, you know, lays out in front of me, and I have to make some choices, but something in me resonates, and I know the right choice to make, you know, at any given point in time, and that to me is a faith that I carry with me on a daily basis, and it's become very strong, and it's just a beautiful thing to me.
Understood. So Daryl, so you've helped build and exit multiple businesses. What does success mean to you now compared to the Daryl years ago?
Success, because I didn't grow up with, you know, money or anything, and success back then used to mean I want to go make some money. I want to have some financial wherewithal in my life. And that's not a bad pursuit.
No.
But it's a pursuit that leaves a lot of pieces and a lot of stones unturned, you know, especially the things that I can do in here. So for a long time now, success to me has meant, and the definition of success for me has been waking up in the morning with a smile on my face. And what does it take to wake up in the morning with a smile on my face? To me, it takes taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, taking care of my heart, and taking care of my soul to the best of my ability at any given time. And that allows me to wake up in the morning with a smile on my face.
And I always tell people, and you said it, because you listed things that you do for you, right? I tell people all the time, if you can't make yourself happy, how can you make someone else happy? And that is it right there in a nutshell. You're able to keep yourself happy, a smile on your face, and you keep moving. So you're able to do that and push that forward for others. So.
And that's a great point. And if I am able to do that for myself, I don't have to keep searching for it, because it shows up for me if I'm doing the right things. And then it's a natural consequence of that is I can smile at the person checking me out at the grocery store. I can strike up a conversation with somebody who, you know, at the gas pump or the other side of the gas pump or whatever, you know, I can be friendly. I can be kind. I don't know if me smiling at someone and them smiling back and making eye contact, that might change their entire day.
Change their whole life.
Right. And absolutely crucial to me at this point in my life is what am I and who am I putting on the street every day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just being a good human.
You know, that just made me think about a situation. I went into a certain fast food restaurant, and the cashier was just, you could just tell she was just having such an attitude. And she came up and she even spoke to me with an attitude. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to play into it. So I kept a smile on my face. And she came back up, and I started speaking to her. I'm like, how's your day going? You know, and just asking, just being polite. And finally, by the end of it, you know, she came back up and she's like, you know what, baby, you know, and her whole tone, her attitude, her demeanor had changed. So yeah, that plays right into it. You know, it's you just never know what that little interaction can mean to somebody's whole day.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep, I agree. You never know what somebody's going through that's standing next to you in any line anywhere. You know, so you got to be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Daryl, we've interviewed a lot of different type of coaches over the past 6 years that we've been doing this show. And explain your coaching program and why is yours different than any of the others?
There's a lot of different coaches, and one thing I just railed against is please don't call me a life coach. Because I've known people who are life coaches, and and I always used to say, sort of in jest, sort of not, but the first question I want to ask them is, how is your life?
Your life.
Right.
Because I want to learn from someone who's not, you know, everybody's still trying. Until they're shoveling dirt on me, I'm going to be trying, you know?
Yeah.
But I know that my experiences, and much of it has to do with age, you know, I have experiences that will help people if I relate those experiences to them. And so what I try to do is, number one, I want to start with an attitude of humility. And a lot of people don't think about humility in terms of, you know, changing out your leaves in the fall. Yeah. But you have to have humility, because being able to be teachable is absolutely crucial to changing your life. You have to be open to new things. You have to be open to expanding what you believe. And so my foundation is those things inside of me that I want to teach other people to have, that I was told I needed to have if I was going to change. So I'm not teaching you how to make money. I can teach you how to make money. I can teach you how to sell. I can teach you how to run a business. I can teach you all that stuff, but it's not going to do you any good unless you have those foundational pieces.
Yeah.
And I talk, you know, gratitude is another component that I think is absolutely crucial, and something that I practice every single day. So I lay that foundation, and I get that buy-in before we go anywhere else. And that is crucial for me to, and if somebody doesn't like it, you know, and they're not down with it, and they want to learn, you know, some other magical, crazy stuff, like, there is no magic other than that. That's what creates the magic. That's what sets your foundation for building.
Yeah. You know, I love the way you put that about gratitude, because you look at your life and coming from wanting to commit suicide and drug use and alcohol abuse, you know, to where you are now, you know, married and thriving. You're kind of grateful for every day that you have left on this earth. And,
absolutely.
And that is just, I think if more people lived their life that way, just being grateful, showing gratitude, man, this whole place would be so much better.
Yeah. Being grateful is the way to get more, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it really, and when I first heard about gratitude and they were first, showing me some things, I'm like, gratitude, like what is, I'm 19, like, I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I started to be, and they said, practice it. And I started to think about, you know what? I'm grateful that I can see.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I can feel. And I'm grateful that, I have my body parts, and I'm grateful I'm not, disabled. There's a lot of things, real basic things to be grateful for. And I think that's where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Daryl, we're running a little bit low on time, but I want to give you the opportunity that you can tell people where they can find you at, how they can get your books, all those things, and your coaching program, how they could get up with you so they can have more access to you.
Thank you, Les. I appreciate that. The best place to find me is my website, which is daryldittmer.com. And the spelling is right there on the screen, daryldittmer.com. And that talks about my books. I'm actually having my website redone. So if there's any confusion or it's down or whatever, you can feel free to email me. I'm always happy to answer emails, answer questions. If there's anything I can do to help you out, I don't need to get paid. I'll just help. And I'm happy to do that. And the email address is daryl@daryldittmer.com. My books are both on Amazon. And if you type in either When I Stop Fighting or When You Stop Fighting, or type in my name, my books will come up. The first one's a memoir, basically my story, with all of the lessons so far that I've learned in my life. I know there's more coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the second one is about, how can I help you think differently about your life? And so that's how to find me.
Right.
So you made the comment so far. So do you have some upcoming projects coming, like another book or something?
I do. I was funny because I was talking to my wife the other day and I said, you know what? I'm going to name my next book, How to Kick Your Bully in the Teeth. And she's like, I don't know if that's going to go over that well.
I love it. That's great.
But anyway, yes, there's another one coming. It's going to be more in line with the show up philosophy. Some of the paradoxes in life that we encounter, that, here's what we're told and here's the actual truth kind of thing about how to live and how to grow and how to change and how to find contentment and fulfillment, that sort of thing. I'm going to start writing here soon.
Awesome. We wish you much success already.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the title can work because my wife put out a book called Go F Yourself.
Oh, I love it.
And just the title alone catches people's attention. And when they grab it and it says finding faith, fortune, and fulfillment, it's like, oh, this is awesome.
I love that. Yeah.
The book can work as long as you play into it the right way.
Yeah.
But Daryl, we got one last thing for you, and it's called The Last Word.
And now, The Last Word.
So, Daryl, what is one truth, in your opinion, about life that most people learn just way too late?
I'll tell a little story if I may, just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
So when I was first getting involved in the 12 steps, and I was going to meetings every day, sometimes twice a day, just trying to put myself back together. And there was this meeting in a nearby city, and it was a pretty big meeting, probably a couple hundred people, and everybody sits around tables, and talks and this and that. And there was this guy there, and his name was Jimmy, and he was an older guy, and he was a little hunched over, when he walked, and pretty small in stature, but you could just tell, he had it, and he had wisdom, and he was the only guy. At that time, he was about 40 years And we used to call it, back then we call it 40 years sober. Everybody looked at Jimmy like he was a deity. Like, dude, Jimmy, you know, because people are struggling to get 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or whatever it was. And he had 40 years. And he was the only guy in that meeting that would pick up the coffee carafe and go around and fill other people's coffee cups up. The newcomers didn't do it. The young people didn't do it. I didn't do it. Jimmy did it. And that selfless act of service really struck me because of his humility. And one of the things he used to say, so there's two things here. One is that act of humility, but one of the things he used to say is, if you want to have the life of your dreams and a life where you wake up and you feel good every day and you're sober and you're in recovery and you're content and fulfilled, you have to learn how to stay small. And what he meant by that is approach life with humility, approach life with being teachable, approach life with an I don't know attitude, and life will absolutely open up to you, because then you'll be willing to learn.
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Jimmy was the dude, man. He was great.
I think everybody needs a Jimmy in their life, right?
Yeah.
They do.
Russ is my Jimmy when he's, you know, not harassing me and doing AI photos and doing, you know.
I love it.
Oh, you missed the one from last week, Les.
You know what? I'm going to reserve my comment. I knew it. With the girls.
Oh, wow. That's great. I love it.
Daryl, you can tell I get picked on quite a bit. You know,
Quite a bit.
It's okay. I have
love
extremely rough skin, kind of like alligator gar or, you know, alligator skin.
Right on.
You know, it's cool. It's cool. It's all right.
But Daryl, thank you so much for spending time with us here on the Man Space.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate you, sir.
Definitely greatly appreciate it. Check out the website, DarylDittmer.com. Make sure you follow him on social media where you can. You can find the links there on his website. Go out to Amazon, get the books, and make sure you support, because, man, we definitely will as well. And this has just been such an honor to spend time with you and get to know you some today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. Yeah.
As we do each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. You see, the only thing that has power to truly stop you is the voice that tells you that you can't. It's that voice that gives you doubt. It's that voice that gives you hesitation. It's that voice that gives you the fear of getting it wrong. But see, those things are not facts. They're just thoughts. And thoughts can be changed. Every dream, every goal, every new beginning requires one simple decision: to stop waiting for the perfect moment. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing to take the first step. Because the truth is, your potential has never been the problem. Your ability has never been the problem. You have been the problem because you stood in your own way. So today, choose to move differently. Choose to believe in what is possible for your life. Choose to step past the excuses. Choose to overlook the doubt. Choose to look past the fear and get out your own way. Manspace Nation, once you do that, watch how far you can go. Until next time. Man, sometimes you just really have to get out of your own way. And I mean, I think that message just fell such in line with our guest today.
Yeah, absolutely. He got out of his own way.
Yeah.
And turned his life around. And that should be, a roadmap for others. It is possible.
Absolutely.
It is
Absolutely.
possible. It's possible.
He's a perfect example just to show that, I mean, he's living proof that, if you get out of your own way, that good things can happen.
Yeah. Shed those leaves. Shed those leaves.
Yep. Shed those leaves. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I have another project that I should have coming out very soon. It is going to be called the Mahogany Circle podcast. I will be producing, but that will be coming out very, very soon.
Nice.
It's with Dr. Dan and Dr. Tabitha.
Okay.
They will be hosting that and leading some webinars coming out as well too. So this is the first announcement of it, but we'll be giving more information as time comes on over the next few weeks as it gets ready to launch and gets ready to change the whole world, man.
Amen. I'm gonna be there to tune in and check it out. Maybe it needs to change me a little bit. I don't know. I can use some change.
Yeah, I've been saying that for 18 years, bro. Speaking of changing, every Monday night, WTMSTV.com, you can catch the latest episode of the Manspace podcast with these two handsome fellas, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, WTMSTV.com. And then on Thursdays, it is Throwback Thursdays with back-to-back episodes of the Manspace podcast on WTMSTV.com.
I know that's right. Yes, sir.
And
hey, listen.
All
I got to say is this. I know I'm a mess, and God ain't through with me yet.
Yes.
Yeah. And so say he's not through with me yet, man. I'm still going through. I'm still going through some learning lessons.
Yes, absolutely. And on that note,
we out of here.
No gimmicks, just game that my sure in sight. They shine like the city on a Friday night. Man talk, real talk, that's the way that you bless. Giving knowledge and some laughs in the same finesse. From life goes to the jokes that hit. They the tag team champs, yeah, legit with the wit. So pull up a chair, let the stress digest. From the beat drops, you know the rest. You go chillin' with Russ and Less.